and welcome to another episode of Worst Collection Ever. This is the show where we tell you about the worst comic book collection in existence, and it just happens to belong to us. I'm Jen.
And I'm Shawn.
And, oh, beautiful for spacious skies where the president tweets about shit. Happy 4th of July.
Yeah. If you didn't know, this is the last 4th of July.
There are no more 4th of July.
This is the last one.
This is the last one. It's nice to spend it this way.
This
podcasting.
is the last one.
Last one.
So, hey, whatever.
Hey, we gotta go sometime.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for aliens.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
We're just driving and I'm like, man, it'd be great right now if we got like a Zod thing going on the radio and the TV, and there's just like we're coming because you have like somebody we know.
And we'd be like, we've been talking about this for a long. We've had so many movies about this. It's about time it actually happened.
We've been talking about this the whole time. Now you're finally doing it. About goddamn time.
It's about goddamn time. We started with War of the Worlds, and we've been pretty much riding that train until now.
I want to see it.
Might as well.
Maybe I don't. I don't know. I'll regret it because it might be a whole...
Well, we'll be the first to die. It'll be fine.
You think?
Sure, why not? Take out major population centers.
That's true. Okay.
They're not going to take out the rural population first. It's easier to hit the big and then go small.
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Okay. All right. Well, let's figure that out.
Yeah. So on that happy, joyous note,
So I actually, speaking of, did I talk about that movie Life? I think I told you about it.
You told me about it. I don't know if you mentioned on the show, though.
Yeah, I watched the movie Life because speaking of aliens, what's
it about again?
It's about basically Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal and Rebecca Hall. No, they're astronauts in space at like a big international space station, and there's like...
Do you believe Ryan Reynolds could be an astronaut?
No.
Okay. I love that. I love watching those movies when they cast like people who have no business.
I could buy Jake Gyllenhaal.
Sure, I'll buy that. But like when they're like, here's Dr. Tara Reid, and you're like, okay.
Well, not even, it's not so much... Well, it's not so much... Sure. It's not so much that... like it's
serious scientist Johnny Depp.
It's slightly I mean, look, it's a little bit more plausible. Like Ryan Reynolds is definitely more plausible than Tara Reid.
Sure,
but I think, it's it's just I don't know.
Invisible scientist Kevin Bacon.
Yeah. Yeah, he's too handsome.
Not that scientists can't be handsome.
I don't know. I like my scientists nerdy and gross.
You're like, I want you to look like you haven't bathed.
I want you to have some more missing hair. You need to have some like.
You can still be hot and not have hair.
No, but you can't. But you got. I don't know. I just feel like it. I mean, I don't know. I would imagine if you're an astronaut, you have to be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like weight limits and stuff, and you have to have some certain stamina. There's all sorts of shit you have to go through.
Yeah,
to be an astronaut.
I can't barely do any sort of like CrossFit.
Oh no.
I think you'd have to be like Seth Rollins level of CrossFit.
Yeah, you have to be fit.
Yeah.
To be an astronaut.
So we're like Astrofit.
Astrofit.
But yeah, but it's just it's a dumb movie because it just kind of. I mean, it's not dumb, but it's just one of those things where basically they capture they capture like a Mars probe, and they're like, hey, what's in this Mars probe? Ooh, look, things. And they get like a microbe, and they kind of like from Mars, and they kind of kickstart it so it starts growing.
Poke it with a stick.
They do literally poke it with a stick. And they literally poke it with a stick, and then it gets angry, and it gets loose, and because it starts growing, and then it starts killing everybody.
Yeah,
it starts going inside people's bodies, and and then they're trying to shoot it out, and it's just a lot of it's just like, we have to put it over here. Okay, let's go over here in the ship, and and then the movie ends, and it's just
sounds fun.
It's not the poster is really cool because it's like a spacesuit, but you see like instead of like a silhouette of a face or like a humanoid figure, you see like a hand up cool. on the face, and I was like, because I would pass by the billboard and I'd be like, oh, that looks neat.
Yeah,
maybe I should check that out.
Yeah,
and
no,
And then I watch, and it's on Vudu, so it's just staring me in the face, and I'm like, all right, fine, I'll watch you, and then and I did, and I didn't really care. It was okay.
Yeah.
We also saw Baby Driver.
Baby Driver was good.
Baby Driver was okay.
Yeah, it was fun. John Hamm's great.
John Hamm was.
I loves me some John Hamm.
Hammond's
like literally, I saw John Hamm was in this movie, and I'm like, we're seeing this movie.
Yeah, I think that was really the defining factor because I mean. Like if you were, it's definitely not a Edgar Wright thing.
Yeah,
sorry, I'm just ripping. We'll get to this comic. In a
second. We'll talk about it.
But, it's that's not bad.
Yeah, well, no, it was fun and it was enjoyable.
Some part of it's a little bit too hip for me.
Yeah, I'm not cool enough, but
I just feel I'm like I'm not cool. I'm not cool enough to watch this movie.
Yeah.
However, if
it made me want to be a stunt driver, I was like, "Damn it, why didn't I do that?" I know, why didn't I learn how to
drive good?
Yeah, like why didn't I do that with my life? Like that's fucking cool.
Fucking people need people to drive good.
Yeah,
real good. I could do that.
Hey, I drive stick. Let's do this.
Because I was kind of like, oh man, look how fucking cool. Like just imagine, this Baby Driver guy, and he's coming into the to the diner, and he's like, hey, I'm really mysterious, but I'm also like having somehow. And this girl's just like, oh my god, my life sucks, but I'll hang out with this dude. And I'm just like, man, I wonder if I was that cool, if I could just kind of like speak all mysteriously, and people would be like, oh man, I gotta hang out with that guy. But then I feel like I feel like I do that. I feel like I speak mysteriously enough already because I don't know how to talk sometimes.
I think but the problem is you're verbose, so you'll say many words. As where Baby Driver will just be like, my name's Baby. Baby, baby. And people are like, ooh, and you're like, my name's Baby. Well, not actually Baby, but like
yeah,
you say too many words.
Yeah, I can't handle silence.
You gotta get fewer words to be mysterious. Mm-hmm. So if that's what you're going for, you gotta cut down on your words per minute.
Yeah.
Which
is weird because I
also wear sunglasses constantly.
Which it's weird because I don't particularly like to have to talk to people, but when I do, I say a lot more than I probably should. I mean, I like talk. I mean, I like people, but I don't have a.
That is a difference between us.
but I don't have it where it's like I want to go out my way to be like I have to have a conversation. Like I kind of feel like actually on email, I try to be less verbose. I try to get my point across as succinctly as possible, and especially nowadays when people use emoticons and stuff, and I can't do that. So
you use emojis?
I do use emojis, but it's like when somebody's like, hey, when I'll be talking to a fellow coworker and they're like, just somebody's like, hey, smiley face, and I'm like, I don't want to use a smiley face when I'm talking to you. I want to get here's what I'm telling you. Don't use smiley face and don't.
Well, why are you? But it would be like if they came and said hi to you in person and smiled at you. Hi, Shawn. Smile. It's the same thing.
I guess I don't like it.
Okay.
I don't know. Well,
such rage.
We'll just get to our book after the break. Stick around, and we'll be right back.
After a long day of criminal activity, there's nothing I like better than to sit down and listen to the old radio. Wait a minute, that's not a radio. It's
Plastic Man. Plastic Man! Plastic Man!
That's right, it's the Plasticast, a brand new podcast dedicated to Plastic Man. I'm your host, Max Romero. Together we'll be talking about Plastic Man in the Golden Age, the Silver Age, the Bronze Age, and every other age you can think of, right up to his upcoming reappearance in DC Rebirth. We'll also be talking about any Plastic Man news that might be coming up, and his appearances in every media from comics to cartoons. Whew. Makes me woozy just to think about it. I hope you'll join me to talk about the longest arm of the law, here on the Plasticast, here on the Fire and Water Podcast Network.
Plastic Man!
All right, we're back here on Worst Collection Ever with our book for this week. It is US 1 from May 1983. If you've never heard of US 1, you're probably like most people. US 1 was a very obscure comic character from Marvel that was, for some reason, created, I think, at least 5 years too late
Oh, absolutely.
because they're
Yeah.
trying.
This was obviously created in response to a very specific time period and a very specific fad.
Yeah.
And then when it finally came out, it was way too late.
It was way too late, and basically, basically the premise is that US 1 this is number 1. So we'll basically go through and kind of what the deal is here and stuff. Our copy of this book
Yeah.
is
It was not always like this.
not always like this. No, this was actually a whole
Complete comic book when I
complete
bought
comic
it.
book. And one day,
I think I bought this in Buffalo. Did
maybe.
I?
No, I think you bought it out here.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think I bought it out here.
I know I bought it. I don't remember where.
Yeah, so basically our copy is
It's missing a chunk.
it's missing a series of chunks in the first 5 pages, and there's a big perforation on
In the middle.
in the middle on the other on where the spine is.
And it just happens to perfectly fit the fang of a cat.
Yes.
I don't know why that would be.
Jeez, I wonder what happened.
One of our cats is kind of an asshole
Yeah, he is.
about 98% of the time. So if we don't get out of bed in time, like if we dare to sleep in on a weekend and there happens to be a comic book laying on an end table
Yeah.
by our bed, he will start chewing on it.
Yeah, he goes to town.
And that's exactly what happened to this one. So you wake up to find him ripping apart whatever just happens to be on the end of your end table,
Yeah.
which really sucks.
It really sucks because now I have only a part of a comic here.
Yeah, so we're missing a big chunk out of this.
I mean, it sucks because I want because sometimes there's not that the story necessarily.
I mean, you can guess at what's
suffers.
happening, but
But anyway, so just be whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter because you're not looking at the comic.
yeah.
So you're just
And we don't miss anything. But I'm just saying that some of the I actually read this before that happened.
yeah, me too.
But when I went back through to review this before the show, I was like, what is that guy saying? Because half of his narration box is missing.
It has been digested by a cat, or it was just shredded. He just bites. He doesn't bite it.
Yeah,
to
he
eat
bites it and he shakes his head and it goes everywhere.
He bites it. Out
He's
of
like
spite.
a dog. An ass. Anyway, continue.
So US 1 on the cover, you have the logo, which looks like a road sign, US number 1, and then you have a big splash page, I guess. I know there's a way to describe it.
It's
but
just the cover.
So, in the background, you have a man's head with a cybernetic head.
Yeah, he kind of looks like he's wearing like an aluminum foil hat.
Well, not even that. No, he just looks
Like
he's
like
wearing,
a swim cap.
He's wearing a foil swim cap, and
Yeah.
then you have a dude on a mountain, a shadowy figure on a mountain with a gigantic cape in the middle of a thunderstorm.
Yeah, and there's lightning everywhere.
And then you have a truck,
A big rig.
big
And
rig.
You have to be very specific.
All right,
This is an 18-wheeler.
18-wheeler careening off a winding road, and it's rain everywhere. And then in the forefront, you have Mr. US1, the titular US. Uno.
Oh, and I just realized that his belt buckle says US.
Yes.
He is dressed like a very generic person. He's wearing a red jacket, white t-shirt, blue jeans,
Red bandana.
red bandana tied around his head, blonde,
Blonde boy.
with his hands on his hips, smiling. This is US1. This is
Yeah.
our hero.
And then you have in the corner, he's giving us a thumbs up as a winking. giving
In
us
a wink, yeah.
He's like, hey guys,
This
is
is
a good
an
book.
average Joe.
No, I don't know.
Well, I mean, like he's drawn to
the
look.
headband kind of makes him a bit more.
This was also what, 90? When was
83.
83. So yeah, headbands. I mean, Rocky.
true.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
the thing. Little bandanas.
In the corner it says, high adventure, trucking down the highway. Fuck yeah.
So, if you have not realized, US1 is about a superhero who drives an 18-wheeler.
Yes.
That is the premise. And that's why we say, this is obviously written when Convoy was a thing.
Yeah. See, that's the thing.
The
CB
idea was
radios-
when CB radios were big and Convoy was like a song and a movie.
Yeah.
And people were really fucking into that sort of shit. And it was obviously conceived at that time.
Yeah.
But by the time it got published, nobody gave a fuck about Convoy anymore.
No, it was not really a big deal. So
So I don't even know how long this ran for. Probably not very long.
those ran for about a year.
Really?
Yeah, which
That's
is actually
longer than
pretty
I
remarkable.
expected.
Yeah, it's a lot longer than you would expect. So US 1 Coming At Ya is the official title of this
Yeah.
song, or this book.
The song.
Whatever. And so it starts off with a narration from, I think his name is Big Ed. Actually, I can't see because this is where the mic is.
Yeah, there's this guy. He's wearing overalls. He's got like a trucker hat on. He's got a stogie hanging out of his mouth, and he's like waving at US 1, which is again an 18-wheeler, but the truck part, what are those
cab.
called? No,
Or the trailer.
the trailer is painted. This is US 1.
Yeah.
So it's red and blue. It's got a big arrow. I mean, it's very noticeable. This is like Optimus Prime rolling down the road, basically, except he doesn't transform.
American Optimus Prime.
Yeah. So we are introduced to this character through our buddy here in the overalls, who tells us all about US 1.
Well, he's like, well, heroes sometimes have capes, but in this case,
Not
it's just
everybody.
not everybody, because the boy in that truck,
He's a hero.
he's a hero, and his official name, if you also don't want to know why he's called US 1, is because his actual birth name apparently is Ulysses Solomon Archer.
And they call him US.
They call him US. Or you can call him USA.
Yes, you absolutely could.
Yeah, they are not messing around.
No, so it starts with the talk about this kid, and man, did him and his brother love watching big rigs, even though that their mom and their dad drove a big rig.
Yeah,
Like I'm not sure if it was one big rig or two big rigs. I'm assuming it was one.
they're the biggest rigging family.
Yeah, so they're really into it, and there's like a truck stop called like the Short Stop.
And he's one of also like he's like US is like one of these kids who like sees a car and they go.
He's really into cars.
Yeah, but he's really into big rigs.
Yeah, really into big rigs. Kind of like kids who are really into tractors. And it's him. His brother's name is
Jefferson Hercules.
Hercules Archer.
Which I kind of like. I'm disappointed that doesn't produce any
Right?
cool
That's
initials. You think that the whole reason for calling him Jefferson Hercules
Yeah.
would make more sense.
Yeah, it doesn't come out with anything cool. But so he's like, man, kid, you're great, whatever, but you got to go to school, you got to be smart, whatever. So one night, the mom and the dad are driving their big rig, and they get into an accident, they die.
Yes.
So
We don't know.
we don't know why, they just die.
We don't.
So then it's like, oh man, the funeral was great because all these big rigs put like black crepe all over their cars and like did like a big old procession.
A funeral convoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this dude is like the narrator's like he's like, man, that was like the best funeral I've been to.
That was the greatest funeral I've ever seen.
They had
Wish more people would die so I could see more great funerals.
Let me tell you, my wife made the best eggs that morning.
Let me tell you about the awesome time we had at the funeral.
Maybe it'd be great if this really ended up becoming him creating Yelp for funerals.
Do they have an app for that? Funeral Finder?
Funeral Finder.
You think that they would have one for like old people? Because a lot of those old people just go to like funerals because they've got nothing else to do with their time.
Yeah, no, they go to pay their respects to a man.
And as we get away from obituaries printed in newspapers, maybe we're going to need like a Tinder for funerals where it's like swipe right if you want to go.
What would you call that? What would you call a Tinder for a funeral? Oh God! See, I know there's
barrier.
No, there's got to be a great pun.
There has to be.
There's got to be a great. I'm actually really.
Someone's screaming at us right now.
Somebody's screaming at it. Somebody's also screaming what would Yelp for funerals would be.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm trying to think what would be. God, see, that's the thing.
It could be like Plenty of Fish instead of just Plenty of Funerals.
Plenty of funerals. Well, that's one app. But we're talking
one app. There's a proliferation of apps for funerals. As we all age and the internet generation gets older.
Ooh, actually, maybe you can call.
What?
I don't know if people would get it, but you can call
Corpser?
No.
Oh.
No, it doesn't have to be but you can call maybe instead of Tinder, you can call it Pyre.
Oh, that's good.
Pyre.
That's cool. That's fun.
But that's not. I don't know. I feel like
Cemetery.
No, that's just a word.
A lot of these things are just words.
But like, it has to be something like I don't know. It just has to be something clever. Like, I'm trying to think. What would a Yelp be like if you're reviewing?
Yelp's just a word.
Yelp. What would be like? Groan.
Groan.
Croak.
It's croak. Good job,
Croak.
babe.
Oh man, I am so good. Anyways,
I'm so proud.
Anyway, so I give this five caskets on croak, and so these. Yeah, see, I'm on a roll now.
You are.
Speaking of roll, 18-wheelers.
18-wheelers.
So anyway, so they're basically, the kids are orphans.
Oh, yeah. So they're orphans. They're being raised by the guy in the overalls. And they're like, oh, one of the... And this part is really weird because they're like, one brother grew up and became a man and left home. And then the other one left the boy behind. But when they show the panel of the boy that left behind, he is a full fucking grown man.
Grown-ass man.
There's no way this is a child. I'm like, wait, he's the kid who got left behind? Whatever. So he
didn't leave. I mean,
his brother went off to drive rigs, and then so the guy in the overalls is like,
because he owns it. Because the guy in the overalls owns like
the truck stop.
He owns like the fucking hot spot. Did you back when I was younger in my high school years? Mm-hmm. We used to hang out at a place called Jim's Truck Stop.
Is it an actual truck stop?
Yeah, because it would be like an actual. Well, it's off the highway. In like by the mall, so it's not really like a shitty truck stop kind of place. It's just like a diner / whatever. It's just a place for truckers to get off the highway, and and the mall's obviously not open, so they can just stop there.
Yeah.
So we used to go there all the time. And
trying to find the name of this truck stop.
What, Jim's Truck Stop?
Nope. There's a truck stop in Colorado.
Oh, okay.
That I used to pass on my way to college. When I went to college out of Denver. Johnson's Corner. That's what it is. And this place is known for having these giant fucking cinnamon rolls, which I've actually gone and had them. And they're very good. And they're huge. They're like the size of a plate. Like they're really, really big. They're known for having these huge cinnamon rolls, but they're also known for, as you're going north on I-25 out of Denver towards like Greeley and Fort Collins and up towards Cheyenne. So if you're headed up north, there's these signs as you're getting towards Johnson's Corner, which say free shower with 50-gallon fill. And like shit like that. So they're known for having these crazy fucking signs that like offer. I've always thought that was so weird.
I don't think that's a crazy sign.
It's not a crazy sign, but when,
if you're a trucker, you're like,
living in the suburbs my entire life, and you're like, and it's probably not that way now, but when I was going up there, I mean, we're talking, this was the middle of nowhere. It's just nothing but fields. So if you're a trucker, it's probably like, yes, oh my God, I want the shower. But I always thought it was weird. Because, I'm sheltered suburban girl. I don't know any better. But yes, if you're ever in Colorado, go there. They have good cinnamon rolls. If they're still there, I'm assuming they still are.
Wow, we're doing all sorts of recommendations today. I
can find them on Croak.
Okay, you probably could, but because they also do funerals.
They do. They do
with a 100-gallon fill up. If you get 5 50-gallon fill ups, you get a free funeral. Yeah.
You do, and
you don't get to pick where the body gets buried, but you get a free funeral.
Yeah,
somebody they will bury a body for you.
They do like the little get together after the funeral where you can go and get cinnamon rolls, and they put black frosting on them to be respectful.
I'm trying to imagine like just a delicious cinnamon roll with black frosting on it.
No, it's just food coloring.
But why, man? How come?
You know what else? At least I'm assuming they still do this. But when I got that cinnamon roll, this thing is covered in frosting. Like you can barely see it. It's like dripping in just frosting, and then they give you butter on the side as if you needed that. And I was just like, oh God, no.
More fat.
Hey, do you want to be fatter? Here's some butter.
Because what happened was probably somebody was eating a cinnamon roll and somebody was like, waitress, yes, I'm not getting fat enough. Can you help me?
There is not enough fat in the cinnamon roll. They're delicious.
Yeah.
By the way, they're really good. But I would not recommend them with butter. I said no to the butter.
Right on.
Yeah.
So anyway, US 1 is...
We're talking about a comic.
Yeah, we are. There's no cinnamon rolls in this comic, sadly.
What the fuck?
So basically, US 1 is like, hey...
I want to go get a job.
I want to go trucking because I love trucking. And
the kid's like, hey, your brother is dumb. He didn't have head for book learning. So we sent him out on the road. You, however, have book learning head.
Yeah, book learning. You got football in.
So
you got science
you have to go get an education and get really, really smart. And then, become something. He's like, but I want to drive. He's like, well, maybe if you do really well, you can spend the summer with your brother, like riding shotgun.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, sounds great, Uncle. So he's hanging out with his brothers in the truck and riding along, and they're talking, and they're like, no, don't be a trucker. You went to college, you have potential.
Yeah, you got potential. Don't do it. Don't do it.
But it's raining like hell, and they're on some mountain somewhere. I don't think it's ever explained where exactly. They're just on a mountain.
Yeah, where exactly are they?
I don't know. This could be anywhere in Colorado, really.
Maybe.
I mean, you've driven those roads. Mm-hmm. It's like coming out of coming off I-70, off some of those super...
No, you know what? You're right. Oh, 4th of July.
Kaboom! 4th of July fireworks. So,
Get a little ambiance.
so they're heading down, and it's raining like hell. And all of a sudden, this other truck shows up, and the guy's like, "Oh, it's a black truck, but it's a blue truck."
No, it's black, but it's blue because it's at night.
It's blue because comic book.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, he's trying to pass him, and it's really narrow. And then he's trying to, like, he hits him. The guy's like, what the hell is this guy doing? And then he's like, oh, no, it's the highwayman.
The highwayman.
He's like, who? He's like, he doesn't really get to explain it. He's just like, oh, my God, your wheels are going off the cliff. And he's like...
Because apparently this guy has been truck murdering across his whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that's not really explained yet. But he's just like, we're as good as dead because the highwayman's after us. And he shoves him off a cliff. They go over, and the car, it basically explodes.
Well, basically what happens is they go over.
It took Coombs.
Well, because it's just landing, so it's really loud.
Well, look, it's on fire over here.
It's on fire.
It exploded.
And then it explodes more.
Oh, yes, it explodes more.
Because thankfully...
U.S. gets thrown.
For the sake of this book, U.S. gets thrown away far enough, and he's like, well, okay, I'm going to save my brother.
Yeah, he's like, oh my God, I got to go get Jeff. But it's hot, and it's on fire, and he can't get to him, basically. And his brother dies, but up on the cliff is a dark figure wearing a cape.
It's a guy in a cape that drives a truck. It's kind of weird.
Just running other truckers off the road.
Yeah.
That's what's weird about it. And he's just like laughing. And you're like, oh, it's the highwayman. And he's laughing like the Joker.
He's got like crazy hair.
Yeah, but you never really see his face.
Oh, also he has demons.
Yeah, he looks like he has friends that hang out with him.
He has like little goblin demons that hang out with him.
Yeah, and they're like, ha 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 ha, your brother's dead, whatever.
They all ride in the truck with him.
Yeah.
All these demons, they ride in the back of this truck and they're like, bleh.
Yeah. Oh, and then the truck finally explodes.
Yep.
The U.S. agents, or U.S. agent, no. The highwayman leaves, and this guy in the overalls shows up again, and he must be really excited because there's another funeral.
Yeah, no. As we learn, we will learn much later that there's no need for a funeral. So he's probably actually pretty depressed.
What? Because there's no body?
Because they don't find a body.
You still can have a service. You'd think that he's probably giving this like, one casket out of 5 because he's like, we didn't even get to put the crepe on the trucks.
We didn't get to put the crepe on the trucks, and plus there was no open casket.
Well, it doesn't have to be. People get cremated.
I don't know. I think you get an extra casket if you have an open casket.
You?
Those are the rules.
Is that the rules of
croak?
Of croak? Is that the rule?
Yes.
Extra casket.
Extra casket.
So we see that US 1 is taken to a hospital in an ambulance, and his skull is shattered because that's really fucked up. Like, how do you survive that?
I mean, you can crack your skull.
Yes, fracture it, but shatter it? I mean, is that a possibility?
I know, because if you shattered his skull, he should not be living at all. Like, he should be really messed up. Like, it shouldn't even, whatever they're doing to fix him shouldn't even matter, because he should be... his brain should be damaged. Shouldn't
have like pieces in it. I mean, we're not just talking like you fractured it. We're talking like shatter.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it's possible. I have no clue. I am not a doctor. So they're like, well, this is bad, but we have this experimental technology where we can basically take off the entire top of his head, all that shattered skull, and we're going to put, like a cybernetic cap on him.
Yeah, we'll put some sweet new metal. Like fucking Korn.
Yeah. The band Korn. We're just gonna like staple it to this guy's head.
We're gonna put
and Jonathan Davis is just like hanging out.
So the way that we're gonna save your foster son's life, or your adopted son's life, is we're gonna take Life is Peachy and stick it in his brain.
I would really love it if that guy, like before that guy wakes up every morning, like Jonathan Davis just yells, "Are you ready?"
That's the only thing he hears. That's the only thing he hears. Every time he's just walking down the street, all he goes, "Wah!" Oh no, I'm sorry. That's not him.
I know.
Oh, he goes, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, he goes, "Are you ready?"
Yeah. Yeah. And then there's that. Then there's that one song.
That was a great album. That first album,
good
I actually wore it out, and it was a CD.
Yeah.
I had to buy it again.
I should go back and revisit that. I feel
it's a great one.
I feel like I was never a Korn guy.
I loved that first album, and that first track on that, at least the big, not their, it wasn't their first, but like their album to hit the big time?
Well, it was Blind, right? Or the self-titled?
I think it was the self-titled one.
I should know
It was the one that was really big when we were in high school.
Well, there was the two. There was Follow the Leader.
It wasn't that one.
Right, and so there's two before. There was Life is Peachy before that, and then there was the self-titled.
I think it was the self-titled.
Or it's Blind or whatever.
I think it was that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sure they had like a release that was like a small indie before that, didn't they? I don't even know. But it was like that one, and I loved it. I still think that opening track is probably one of the best opening tracks on an album I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Anyway.
it's
a great one.
I have to go back and revisit that because I feel like I didn't appreciate Korn enough when I was a new metal
I didn't
expert.
like them after that album.
Oh,
It was
okay.
just that album.
Okay.
I thought it was great.
So anyways, he gets saved by new metal, and basically what they do is they put this experimental metal on his head.
They just make Jonathan Davis sit on his head.
They make Jonathan Davis sit on his head, and they
Fred
basically...
Durst walks by,
And
gives him a high five, leaves.
here's Dr. Durst is here to save you. I'd be like, kill me now.
How mad do you think Fred Durst is right now? Because he really popularized the red baseball cap.
Yeah.
And like now Trump has taken it with his red baseball cap.
I don't think he cares.
How pissed do you think Fred Durst is right now?
No, I think... I'm pretty certain Fred Durst is...
He's doing okay?
He's a Florida man, so he's probably making America great again as we speak.
He's a Florida man.
He is, yeah, no, that's it. That's Limp Bizkit's from Florida, so...
Is he currently a Florida man?
I think he
live here.
I think he lives here, but he's Florida man at heart.
I understand.
So that's how it's probably going. So he doesn't care. I think
He's just like, it's okay. Next time I'll pick like a striped baseball cap, and that'll be my thing.
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna do yellow.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Bringing back the yellow cap, and then all the Pittsburgh Pirates fans are gonna be upset.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, so he puts his hat on. He gets his
So they put it on, and then they like put the skin over it.
because apparently it could also the metal is so fancy that it not only is not rejected by the human body, but it also allows for skin and hair to grow and just function as normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could do that if you put a plate in your head now. You just fold back the skin, they put it in, and then they put the skin back.
Right.
It's really gross.
Right. Yeah, but basically, I mean...
But this is what I love, because this is the origin of the bandana. I think they had to tie it on.
Yeah?
Because he's got the bandana, and then he's never without it again.
Yeah, well, maybe it's just because maybe
I think they're just tying his skin on.
do you think maybe like if he takes off the bandana, then like his whole brain will come off?
Yes, it's like that. Do you remember that story? Did you ever read those stories, the Are You Afraid of the Dark stories?
No, but I feel like...
Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. That one. So there's this one story about this girl who had a ribbon around her neck.
Oh.
Have you heard this
I think I've heard this, yeah.
So she has a ribbon around her neck, and she's always like, don't untie my ribbon, blah, 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 whatever, with her boyfriend. And he wants to take it off, but she won't let him. And then one day, when she's sleeping, they get married or whatever, and he unties her ribbon, and her head just falls right off. It like rolls out of bed. So I think it's like this. If you untie this, the top of his head just right off.
If it comes off and then Korn comes out and plays a concert.
Yeah, it's really horrible because like he's just sitting there eating cereal and like you untie it, just falls in the bowl.
Ew.
And you're like, oh, that was embarrassing. What a faux pas.
That would be great. Actually, that would be a terrible way to end this comic.
Or the best way to end this
The best
comic?
way. Yeah, maybe that's how this book ends. Maybe that's how like when they're canceling the series, it's like, all right, time to take off this headband. My brain.
Maybe
Over.
this is the origin story of Krang.
Wait, but Krang was just pure brain.
That's what I mean. So the cybernetic brain thing, they like have a cybernetic brain orgy, and then somebody takes off US 1's bandana, and Krang pops out, and he's like, haha, and he like goes and
brain orgy. Okay,
yeah,
I
brain
get it.
orgy, and he's like, I am a thing now, and now he's Krang.
So basically,
You didn't like that, huh?
I don't know if I'm sold on it. I don't know. I'm trying to feel it. I
Okay.
don't know if I feel it.
What about those big flying brains on Futurama? You remember that?
I do, but I'm trying to think what their purpose was. Were they aliens?
They were aliens, and there was like a brain planet, and their whole purpose was to like absorb all the knowledge.
Okay.
And so they like stole.
Oh, so maybe
brainwaves.
when his head comes off and his brain floats away.
Yeah, and then it colonizes a planet.
I would love it if the brain floated away and just screamed knowledge, and then it just went away, and that was the end of it.
Yeah, and the only way that they get defeated is because Fry doesn't have a certain brainwave.
Is this a prequel to Futurama?
Yes, it is.
Nice.
Yeah, so this is also a prequel to The Simpsons.
Great. Was there ever a trucker episode of The Simpsons? There had to have been.
Oh my god, there had to have been, right?
Yeah.
There was definitely a convoy reference in Futurama.
Oh,
I
shit.
think more than once.
Well, then it's definitely tied in. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
This is canon, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
We cracked it. Anyways, so they basically, as he's recovering, they go and they're like, well, hey, the police are basically like, look, we know,
can't do anything about that crazy murder.
Yeah, they go, we didn't find a body, and even though he exploded, there probably should be like some body meat around, but we didn't find any, and we don't think it ever. But basically, they're just telling him it never happened.
Yeah, you have a metal plate in your head because nothing happened to you.
Yeah, like you literally, they're telling, exactly. Yeah, they're basically telling him nothing happened.
Yeah, this is like an X-Files episode. They're like, I realize all that shit just happened to you, Mulder, but you have no evidence, so congratulations, it never happened.
There was no body. You may have been hallucinating because you saw this guy you thought you saw this guy with his demon friends, but it never happened.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. So
let's face it, son, you took quite a bang on the head. You could have been delirious and imagined the whole thing.
He's not a trucker, though. That's the thing. He was shotgunned in somebody else's truck. There's obviously a truck, and they're just like, I don't know, you just made it all up.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Shitty police work. So here's actually one of my favorite parts of this book, actually. Well, so he's sitting there, and he's
back at the truck stop.
He's back at home, and
it has a bed in it.
Well,
it says he's back home to the short stop.
Right, but there's also that's where they live too.
Yeah.
That's where the funeral lover lives.
Oh yeah.
So I say again, no body, no funeral.
No funeral. This guy's really upset right now.
3 stars on Croak. 3 caskets on Croak. So he is sitting in bed, US is sitting in bed, and the father's sitting next to him, and the mom comes in, and she's like, here you go now, US. Be sure to eat all your green vegetables. Nothing's better for a cracked skull than green vegetables. And then the father's like, leave the boy alone, Wide Load. Because I think she's called Wide Load. I think she's got like a nickname, Wide Load.
Oh, yeah. That's what every woman wants to be called.
Well, it's a trucker name.
Yeah, don't be troubling him with all that nonsense like eating vegetables.
Because that's what he says. He goes, don't be trouble with all your nonsense. She's like, all right, I'm leaving. I just imagine she just runs to the kitchen and dumps everything down to the garbage disposal and just cries.
Yeah. I'm assuming she does that a lot.
It happens. I bet there's
either that or she just like eats like the really gross green beans, and cries.
There's just the sink is just filled with like broccoli and green beans.
Yeah.
And like uneaten because the father's just like, leave our metalhead son alone.
Yeah, and then
I'm talking to Jonathan Davis,
and because he never eats vegetables or anything, he has scurvy.
Nice. Oh man, maybe there's a PSA for scurvy in this future issue.
It's totally gonna happen.
Man, that'd be great if it was just on the cover. It's like, don't eat your vegetables, kids,
or get scurvy.
Or get scurvy, and it's like, wow, I'm learning about trucking and scurvy
all at the same time.
So,
so he's like in bed, but then he's like, "Can you hear that? Like, I hear something."
Yeah.
He's like, "What?" And he's like, "No. I'm picking up CB radio signals on this head thing of mine."
He's picking up CB radio signals because if he touches his teeth together a certain way, the fillings in his teeth coincide with his metal skull, and somehow they produce CB trucker noise.
Do you remember? Was it Christmas Vacation?
Yes.
Randy Quaid's character. Can't he hear something on the plate in his head?
Yeah.
He gets like certain stations or something.
Yeah, no, he has a thing. Basically, this is also John Hughes also wrote some of this. They got him involved here, so he got some Uncle Eddie in here, and I like this guy, this father. The father is like
overall guy.
Yeah, he's like I'm trying to think here. The father's like, yeah, look, I've heard of some people getting CB signals on their fillings in their teeth, but never before with a metal skull. Which I find that's like,
doesn't it make more sense that would be a metal skull? That's a lot more metal.
You would think that they'd be clear. It's like you would think that would make more sense. And this father,
I know
this trucker man,
he's really, really sad. He's just distraught because there's no funeral.
So basically, he's very upset. He's very upset that people, because he was a reliable source on Croak, up until this point when they didn't have a funeral and people were like, well, you're not shit now.
Right.
Because he's on the Croak message boards.
He's no longer the mayor of the funeral.
The mayor of Croak.
The mayor of the funeral.
Or the mayor of Deadtown or whatever. Or not, what would be the caretaker
pick that up,
of
please.
Croak. We have another cat attack here.
Yes, we're having a cat attack. Get off.
This one might stay in. This one's staying in.
Okay, there you go.
He wants to sit here.
You can sit there.
I will hold. We will hold the book for you, you haunch boy. Yeah. Or we will do it on your best. See, I can't even see the things.
So just put it on back.
Great.
So, he doesn't like that. Okay. Bye. So he's like, look, I have a plan. Mm-hmm. You have to get me a rig, and we're gonna outfit this thing, and I'm gonna become a superhero.
Basically, yes.
And the guy's like, all right. So they get a truck and they start outfitting it. It's got like guns.
Here's the thing. Here's where it's like it gets a little bit more, even more incredulous because the father just goes,
overall guy.
What is it? Overall man? Yeah. I don't want to call him the father because he's not really his father, but
well, he calls him Papa, but he's not. He's just his guardian.
Papa, or whatever. He says
he was his guardian.
He's maybe I'm crazy, but I believe the boy, and so when he got well enough, I helped him finance a new rig.
Yeah. This rig.
And this rig
had
is like.
to have cost millions of dollars.
Yes.
Like, the shit, because they're like, okay, so we put it together. We painted it all fancy. We did the whole US one. It's red, white, and blue. It's all fancy. We got like 18 dudes working on it. So you're paying all these guys.
Yeah, these guys aren't working for free.
No, and these are like union guys. So you know it's not cheap. And then, so he's like, hey, you want to see what I did? Look on the inside. I have like a weapon system and I can control weather satellites.
He's got radar.
I have radar.
Wait, can you control weather satellites?
Yeah, isn't this the part where he's like, I can like jump on him
a
and
radar
like
scope and for like use for tracking vehicles and for spotting the homing devices. I whipped up. Oh, so basically he also has homing devices?
Yeah, and then there's this part where it's like I can like jump, like get on to the satellite
and it has a
system.
weather satellite hookup for spies. Okay, so he's wait.
Yeah. He can somehow like hijack signals.
This has to be billions of dollars.
Soundwave. Yes, this is so expensive. This is like a military operation.
I mean, like, I know truckers do okay. You can make money being a trucker, but
I mean, unless you're the U.S. government, how are you financing this?
I don't know. I mean,
you're Bill Gates?
I would have loved if he was like, if this was today, he would be like, well, we ran a Kickstarter, we funded this truck.
Yes, we raised $3 billion to build a semi.
We built to build a semi for my adopted son to just kind of drive around in.
Yeah,
he doesn't really do jobs. He just drives around in it trying to find his brother's killer.
Yeah. He's like
Oh, is this like that show that's coming out with the Piven and it's like, the crowdsourcing?
The crowdsourcing, but this is truck sourcing.
This is where they started this because they were like, originally it was going to be about a truck. And they're like, let's take out the truck and put the Piven there.
Right. See, if this was made 10 years ago, it would have been about a truck.
Ooh, okay.
Now.
20 years ago.
25
years ago. 30 years ago.
Now, with social media as it is, now it's about the Piv.
Yeah, I think the Piv replaced trucks.
It did. What's it called? Like the power of the crowd or something?
The power, the wisdom of the crowd.
There's just no wisdom in a crowd.
Well, if you didn't know, first of all,
what are you doing? People are stupid. I think we have seen this.
I want to believe
proved repeatedly over and over again since the beginning of time.
I want to believe though now that Entourage was originally wrote with a truck instead of. Jerry Piven, like just a big rig. Like Optimus Prime was supposed to play Ari Gold.
I wonder if this whole book was like, let's put Convoy, which was really popular. Also, it's a truck because Transformers was really popular at this time.
No, actually, this is right around the time. 80. I think we're just into Transformers.
Yeah, so I mean, they're like, people love trucks, man.
I don't know. I feel like we're a little bit too early for Transformers here.
Well, I mean, I remember being very young watching Transformers. Very
right, but it would have been
young.
like I think it was like the year after this.
Yeah,
because G.I. Joe just started.
Yeah,
like the reboot, the Real American Hero stuff just started.
Yeah,
so
but I remember being very, very young watching Transformers and deciding. I think I was about 4.
Oh, okay.
Deciding that I wanted to marry Optimus Prime. I was not aware. I was 4 years old. So it was 1984.
Yeah.
I was 4 years old. I was not aware of the fact that A, he is a cartoon character.
Yeah.
And B, that you can't marry one of those. Or also, you probably shouldn't marry a truck. But
You could marry a man named Optimus Prime.
I'm sure I could. I could
legally change my name to Optimus Prime.
Would you like to do that? I mean, like, to the point where when the first Transformers movie came out, when I saw the trailer, I was like so excited. I was almost tears.
Yeah.
I was like, it's happening. And then I saw it, and then I was sad.
And you're like, it happened.
And now it doesn't matter anymore.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Now we're 5 movies in. You know, we actually watched all 4.
We have to watch the 5th one.
Yeah, we kind of feel like, because we did rewatch all 4 movies recently.
Well, because, you know, We Hate Movies was doing their summer blockbuster spectacular where they talked about all 4 Transformers movies. I would recommend that if you would like to hear it.
Yeah. It's a lot more fun if you watch
the Transformers movies. So if you've seen them, listen to those podcasts.
Yeah. So anyway, so he makes his robot
so he
panels.
basically makes like a fucking Batcave on wheels.
There has to be like the rest of this book, because this is also the early 80s, so you're adjusting for inflation too.
Yeah, but still, it's very expensive.
And so also the premise is also that U.S. is so good at electronics and stuff.
Well, as we see in this next page.
Yeah, because he also creates like a silver dollar
he's
remote control.
He puts a bunch of, shit onto a silver dollar.
Yeah.
And it's basically, it's the software and shit and joystick to drive the truck when he's not in it.
Right.
So he can drive it with a coin.
How does he drive it? Like, is it like one of those touch controllers?
Remember when you used to have games on your watches? Do you remember the game?
Oh wait, is he kind of like just moving the coin around, and you had a little ball in there?
No, do you remember when they used to have they were like calculator watches, but they were game watches, and they had little tiny video game controls?
Yeah,
it's like that, little tiny.
But there's no LSD, just
it pops
LCD.
Open. It pops open. See, pops open, and then it clicks shut. So there's his controls, and there's his
let alone this thing right here would cost like $1 million
to put something into a silver dollar, inside of it, and still have it be that thin.
The circuitry and the parts and the technology to create that. I mean, look, I understand that. Yes, he's very good at this stuff.
Yeah, but come on.
But yeah, come on. So
where do you get the money?
So he's got and also too. You pointed this out just briefly, but he has like a fuck ton of weapons in this thing.
Oh yeah, he's like, I've got all these guns. Like they're like mounted everywhere.
He's got tire shredders and he's got oil slicks.
Yeah, no, this dude's like fucking serious about this.
I mean, all of this stuff like this, like Homeland Security would be having a field day with this.
Well, it didn't exist in '83.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, like not as we know it now.
Right.
So it'd be like, but I mean, like the military doesn't even have this shit.
No, they don't.
So,
I mean,
and it's not even like an excuse where you're like, oh, Batman's a billionaire, so of course he can get all this shit together.
No, these are just simple truckers.
These are regular dudes who, even in the very beginning, we find out that his brother is driving a truck to help this kid go to college.
Yeah.
And
the parents died.
And the parents are dead.
So, I mean, unless there was like a big inheritance from the trucker parents.
He would have just used that to go to college. Why did his brother have to pay for it?
But apparently that's what had to happen. So, I don't know. It's pretty ridiculous.
It is very ridiculous. So he's like, man, this is going to be great. I'm so excited, but I'm going to go after this guy. What's his name?
He's out to go and find and seek vengeance.
Yeah, he's seeking vengeance, and he's like,
Batman in a truck.
I'm really proud of you.
He's Trucker Batman.
He's Trucker Batman. This is Trucker Batman. And so they shake hands, and off US goes. And again, he's on a mountain road, and it's raining, and it's like, it's just like that night.
Well, here's the thing, too. It's like, you mean, is he actually, he loves trucking so much, but is he actually...
No, he's not hauling
anything.
No, he's not actually a trucker. He's now just driving around in a truck looking for the highwayman.
I mean, maybe there's obviously the other issues. This is only the first issue.
That's
so
true.
We don't really know if he's like, hey, you know what? I got to haul all of these friggin' gumball machines to
on my way to haul gumball machines. I'll look for the guy who killed my brother. But the highwayman shows up because it's raining and slick and whatever, and he's like, there he is. He starts laughing. The highwayman's laughing.
He thinks everything's so funny.
Yeah, and he's like ramming U.S. agent.
Maybe he's telling jokes on the CB radio.
I keep calling him U.S. agent.
Maybe he's telling jokes on the CB radio. He's like, just maybe he's doing like a dice routine or something.
Oh, I think that's probably what's happening.
He's like, hey, hickory dickory dock, over.
So he's like, oh man, I gotta hit the brakes, whatever. There's a lot of driving talk. There's he's leaning out the window. He can't really see him. Oh no, the road's out ahead. I don't know why you'd be allowed on this road if...
well, no, because they're supposed to take an alternate route, or the alternate route to the bridge is closed.
Yeah.
So apparently you have to take an... wait.
That's what I mean. How do you even... Why'd they even let you up there?
Yeah, how would you even be... Why would you even be up there if there's no... if the route to the... Well, then if that's the case...
It's one lane. It's one lane. You can see it right there.
Right.
There's two roads that come together right to a bridge, and the bridge is out.
Also, if the alternate...
So why'd they even fucking let you up there?
But if the alternate route to the bridge is open, then the regular route to the bridge should just be open.
Well, no. Because it says danger...
Alternate route to the bridge
closed.
I like that the sign also has an exclamation point.
Yeah. Whatever way it's closed, whatever. So they're driving, but and this doesn't make sense to me. Okay, this guy he's in the middle of nowhere, in a very windy mountain road, middle of the night. There is nothing there. He's about to go over this bridge, and he's fighting this highwayman, and all of a sudden, the overall dude is standing in front of the bridge.
Right.
Where the fuck did this guy come from?
And for a second, I was like, I thought he was hallucinating him.
I did too. I thought he had been kidnapped.
Right.
And by the highwayman and dropped there. So, US 1 would have to make a choice, like swerve off the road or hit this guy. No, he slams on the brakes. Highwayman goes off the side of the road.
Yeah.
Like off the bridge. And then the guy's like, oh, hey, I was really worried about you. So that's why I'm out here.
That's why I somehow walked up this mountain to stand on this bridge.
In the middle of the night, in the rain.
Yes.
No. Not at all. It's not even a thing.
And then the guy in the US is just like, oh geez, yeah, well the highwayman fell off that thing and I don't see
we don't know where he went.
But he's not like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Right, what are you doing here miles from home in the middle of the night in a fucking mountain?
Maybe he's the villain.
He's got to be the highwayman. He's obviously the highwayman. He has to be. Because he loves funerals.
Yes.
We've put it together.
Oh.
He's killing truckers because he likes to go to funerals.
He does. He's got to get his status back up on Croak.
Yeah, he really does. He was like, there was no funeral for that one. Now I'm pissed. Because there's no other explanation for why this guy would be standing in the middle of the road.
Right.
Except that he's the villain.
Terrible.
Maybe he's possessed by something. I'm assuming he
he has a remote control truck like this that he was controlling, and he just
probably
has like a weird dummy that he controls
with creepy hair.
Because he's real smart too.
Yeah. And also he knew who to call to outfit the truck. So he's already outfitted one truck. I'm assuming he's also killed US 1's parents.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that happened.
Yeah. He wanted to, because what he wanted to do is he
really wanted a funeral.
He also really wanted a funeral. Also, he wanted to raise US 1 on his own and deprive him of vegetables.
Yes, he really wanted to see what happened.
He's pro scurvy.
How long can you live with scurvy before you die?
Oh, man.
It's a really good question.
It's a sick puppy.
Yeah. How long can you go without a fresh vegetable before you die?
You can only subsist on these cinnamon rolls that I create.
With butter.
With black. and for funerals, I put the black frosting on them. Figured it all out.
We figured out US 1.
Man, we're good writers. We're good minds.
We're really good at this.
I know. So actually, that's it for the book.
Yeah.
Next issue, apparently, you meet the rest of the gang at the shortstop and prepare for more adventure trucking down the highway as US goes after midnight. So I guess there's more people that hang out at this truck stop.
Sure.
That are probably also a part of this death cult.
They're probably all the demons.
This guy runs.
Yeah.
Bunch of scurvy motherfuckers.
Yeah, they all have scurvy. Maybe that's the thing. They're really pissed off because they all have scurvy.
Well,
and if they just got an orange, they'd all be better.
So before we wrap up this book, there is just a little paragraph here.
That's more than a paragraph.
Well, more, yeah. There's more. It's like a big little column here about the book and how it came to be. And basically, Al Milgrom, who is the writer of this book, basically
loves Convoy.
No, what happened was a bunch of people from Tycho sent over some trucks to Marvel because they liked what they did. They're like, you guys do good comics. Here, have some electric trucks.
Right? Or, hey, let's do a tie-in so we can sell toys.
Well, eventually that's what comes to. But he's like, well,
this is a deal.
Yeah, Jim Shooter was there, and Jim Shooter was like, hey, Al, I got all these sweet trucks. You come look at them, and they're like, hey, well, maybe we should capitalize on these trucks because nobody has ever done anything with trucks in Marvel. Which maybe he's right.
I've never seen a truck-based comic before
1983. Maybe not. I don't know.
Is there one now?
There was. Actually, you know what? I will dispute that maybe because there was a Spider-Man. And I'm pretty sure he was before this time. There's a Spider-Man character named Razorback, and he was a trucker who had the mutant power to operate any vehicle.
That's not a mutant power.
But that was his mutant power.
That's not a mutant power. That's just learning to drive. But getting your Class C plus your trucker's license.
But he can operate any vehicle.
But anybody can learn that.
You can operate any alien vehicle, anything.
Anybody can learn that.
I don't know. That was his power. He was just very good at it. He was better at it than other people.
That's the worst power.
He also wore, because he was Razorback, he also wore like a pig, like a boar thing on his head. Like his face would come out the front, but he had the boar thing on the top. Like it was a pig, like a pig skin, like a whole pig.
Okay, so he looked like a Mad Max villain, basically.
Yeah, yes.
And he drove weird Mad Max cars.
Yes. Yeah, and he learned how, which was able to drive because of his mutant power.
Anybody can drive those. You just need to be taught how. It's not. You have the power of learning. Congratulations, you're like everybody else.
The power of learning.
What a great mutant power. So
basically, Al and Jim Shooter were like, all right, let's put together some trucker stuff, because trucking is awesome, I guess. And then and they met with the Tycho people, and the Tycho people were like, these are some sweet ideas, bro. Let's put this together. Maybe we'll do a cartoon, do some toys. And then, for right now, we have the book, and maybe some toys and some cartoons are coming. So get ready. And
it never happened.
Maybe there
might be some toys.
I mean, this lasted a year.
A cartoon never happened.
Well, yeah. It lasted a year though, and then that probably was never heard from again until he did. US1 did make an appearance when like a couple years, more than that, like 10 years ago, or whenever the hell Jessica Jones was around with Luke Cage, and they were trying to find a babysitter for their kid, like a nanny for their kid. And
they asked him.
Well, they interviewed like a bunch of random people, random superheroes or whatever, and he's in there, and he's like, trucking is lonely. I need to get off the road or something. It's just like there for a second. I don't know if he shows up anymore after.
Probably not.
So yeah,
I'm gonna guess no.
But I'll tell. Okay, so that's US1 from May 1983. Would you read the next issue of this?
Part of me, I think if I found it, I probably would. Just because it's such a weird premise.
Yeah.
And I really want to see if I'm right about that guy, which I'm assuming I am. That he is the villain.
I know. I kind of talked myself into wanting to read more of this too.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible. It's just weird. You're just like trucker
with a metal head, and he's got a ridiculously tricked out truck with no money. I don't know what kind of money. Where did the money come from?
Right.
What kind of money? What kind of money, Denny?
What kind of money, Denny? I just really why is there unless you love funerals, what point is there to running other truckers off the road? Because he's not taking. Here's the thing: the highwayman. He's not hauling anything.
He's not hauling anything. Nor is if he's running other truckers off the road and he's destroying their trucks. What is he gaining from that?
Right. That's what I don't get. I'd be like, oh.
Other than there's less truckers to take jobs.
Well, that's the thing. It doesn't seem that he has demons in the back of his truck.
Right. He's got demons.
So it's not like he's winning anything.
No. I don't know.
So I'm confused.
Yeah, I kind of want to know. I'm kind of
what's going on? What's the point here?
Yeah, so I'm kind of intrigued to read more of it.
Yeah,
it's by that case, and it was only 12 issues. So if I guess if I can come across them,
yeah,
I will
pick them up.
Do so. So
sure.
But that was our contribution to America today.
Yep.
Because America's birthday.
Happy birthday, America.
US1. That's all.
Red, white, and blue.
We were going to do a G.I. Joe, but then we was like, hey, you know what? US1.
Yeah, and now we can get rid of this because it's missing huge chunks.
Yeah. It's missing huge chunks because of a huge chunk.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, anyways, that's it for this week's show. You can find myself on Twitter at Angry Hero Shawn, as well as my Instagram is Angry Hero Shawn, and also you could check out my other podcast, I Could Talk Kayfabe, that I did with Joe Tadaro, where I talk about wrestling magazines.
And I'm at Jen Stansfield on Twitter and Instagram, jenstansfield.tumblr.com, jenstansfield.wordpress.com. And we have a Facebook, Worst Collection Ever.
Yep.
You can email us at worstcollectionever@gmail.com.
Please
if you
do,
feel
yeah.
so inclined.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, please contact us. And also, if you want to do us a favor, go on Apple Podcasts and please rate, review, subscribe to the show. Leave us 5 stars if you think we deserve it. And rate and review it anywhere you get it, because I know you can also review it on Stitcher and anywhere else that you get the show. Every little bit of that helps, and we would really appreciate that. So thanks again for listening. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your 4th of July. Be safe and eat some hot dogs, some burgers, and read some US 1.
yeah.
If you have them, smoke them if you got them. And by smoke, I mean read.
Yes.
So hope you enjoy your holiday, and we'll talk to you again next time.
Bye.